Georgia College Television presents Central Georgia Tonight, a weekly news program written and produced by Georgia College journalism students. This quarter, Jeff Dawson, Dana Almers, Kevin Wilkins, Tyrone Lowe, Kitty Brent, Steve Norris, Don Pollard, Chris Bonanno, Mike Bell, and Tom Connor will bring you the latest news from Milledgeville, Macon, Dublin, and Warner Robins. And then stay tuned for Professor's Forum. Your host, Connie Book, will present issues and ideas with Georgia College faculty and staff. Stay tuned. Central Georgia Tonight is next.
Straight ahead on Central Georgia Tonight, saving the environment in Middle Georgia, and construction finally gets underway at a dangerous intersection. Those stories and lots of laughs with Don Reed. Stay tuned.
Finding a college where you really fit in can be tough. But at Georgia College, we make that choice easy with Sneak Preview Saturdays. Every weekend, students come check out our beautiful campus, see our long list of majors, and compare notes with some of the friendliest students in Georgia. So, if you're really worried about finding a college that wears well, call this number and say you want to come to Sneak Preview Saturday. All it takes is one visit to know where you belong.
Construction resumed last week on the intersection of Scriven and North Wilkinson. The intersection previously closed because heavy rain washed out tunnels under the street, causing it to collapse. The street is now receiving a new sewer structure. According to workers, construction of the intersection will be completed in 3 to 5 weeks, weather permitting. Saving the environment is a politically correct topic these days. Central Georgia Tonight's Dana Almers reports on Milledgeville's attempt to make a difference in the earth.
Earth Day 93 is come and gone, and as people return to business as usual, the issue of environmental change fades into the background. Environmental deterioration is not a problem of nature. It's a problem of people, according to Dr. E.H. Barman of the Georgia College Biology Department.
Basically, I rate our difficulties with the environment to the population growth, the global population growth of our species, that almost all of our problems that we have are either directly or indirectly related to that. One thing that's fairly obvious, I think, is that the population cannot continue to grow at its current rate. Sooner or later, we'll simply outstrip our ability to feed ourselves. We will exceed what's known as the carrying capacity of at least certain areas. And some segments of the population will simply collapse. In other words, we will have situations develop where, through starvation, for example, large numbers of individuals will die and the population will decline in a dramatic fashion. The consequence of rapid and continued growth is deterioration in the environment. In other words, we will lose more of our forests, we will lose some of our agricultural land. We will, even with our best efforts, we will continue to pollute the environment with various substances that may be toxic.
Dr. Barman isn't a big fan of recycling, but he believes every little bit helps.
It's something that we can do, perhaps, and it's something that can give individuals a feeling that they're involved in the process.
Milledgeville has only one recycling center here at Buddy's Auto Supply on North Wayne Street. They collect just about anything recyclable and melt it down to be reused.
This is the only recycling center in Milledgeville. We have some places that the city of Milledgeville is currently picking up, I believe it's on Wednesday, they pick up plastic, paper, and some of your bimetal products or cans, but we're the only place in town that buys your aluminum cans of any.
Most people believe that one person can't make a difference in recycling, but if you think about it, recycling is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Dana Almers, Central Georgia Tonight.
Greek organizations on campus are also trying to make a difference in the community. The Greeks are taking turns doing community service projects, including picking up trash and tutoring students who need help. The 6th Annual Arts and Science Symposium will be held this Wednesday. Dr. Larry Elowitz will moderate the discussion on sports in American society. It will be held at the Peabody Auditorium from 9 until 12 noon. Admission is free and it is open to the public. Next on Central Georgia Tonight, the Greeks fight it out among each other and intramurals are down to the wire. Keep watching.
Here's one time it doesn't matter who your neighbor is. Here's the other. Life's too short. Stop the hate.
Tonight, Dolores had a few drinks, did some crack, and ended up another tragic story. Only she doesn't know it yet. Drugs make you forget. And if you forget how risky sex can be, you could catch the AIDS virus and not know it for months, even years. AIDS, another way drugs can kill.
Vince, that new dummy cam is great.
Yeah, it'll sure give people a whole new outlook on what it's like when you don't wear a safety belt.
I think they'll get the picture.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Here with sports is Steve Norris. Steve?
Thanks a lot, Mike. All right, let's move along to sports. Let's go right to the scoreboard. It's women's softball. Women's division, we got Sports Emporium at the top at 9-0, undefeated for the season. Delta Zeta's right behind them in second place at 7-2. Lethal Weapon and Fifth Fatale tied for third place at 6-3. Then we got 80 Pi at 4-5. Bell Hall at 3-5. And at the bottom, rounding at the bottom, that is 5U at 2-7. Adams at 1-8. And BSU winless at 0-8. Moving along to the men's Independent Central. Crunch Bunch at 4-0. They take that division. Hitmen at 3-1. The Goodfellas at 2-2. Desperados 1-3. And the Rastafarians, sorry guys, 0-4 for the season. Moving along to the East Division, we got Sanford and KA tied for the top spot at 3-1. Triple Crown has got their record at 2-2, 500 for the season. And Hit Squad and Beeson at the lowly 1-3. In the men's Independent West Division, here we go. Yes, Bad Company 4-0 at the top. Once again, they always at the top of their league. Saloon Platoon 3-1, Hit and Run at 3-2. Unforgiven at the middle of the standings there at 2-3, and the Beavers and Chubbs, well, they're at the bottom, 1-3 and 0-4 respectively. All right, intramural playoffs are scheduled for this week. We'll bring you the championship game on next week's edition of Central Georgia Tonight. Greek Week is filling up the campus calendar this week. Greek organizations battled out for points. James Downey reports on the serious competition.
The week Zeus got loose. That's the theme for this year's annual Greek Week competition at Georgia College. Members from each fraternity and sorority got together last week for a little fun in the sun. The competition includes such events as volleyball, swimming, track and field, canoeing, and much, much more. Greek Week is sponsored annually by the Georgia College Greek Council. While Greek Week looks like a lot of fun, it's also a lot of hard work, as Greek Council member Rob Little explains.
This year we had to get each organization to have their members reserve space and other types of things to get ready. We had to reserve equipment like basketballs and the stage for the talent show and all this type of stuff. And it took a lot more planning this year.
Once again, Greek Week was a great success and a good time was had by all. This is James Downey, Central Georgia Tonight.
The final moments are in play as we speak. We'll let you know the results. Those are all the stories, Mike. Greek Week's going along pretty well. Are you participating at all?
No, I'm not. I'm participating as a spectator. But it sounds good. It sounds like everything's going good as we wind down to the end of this season.
Oh, good.
Next, a barrel of laughs. Meet the man with a funny line. Stay tuned.
This year, more than 40,000 Americans are expected to become infected with HIV. Fortunately, many people have found a way to respond.
You got a friend that's got AIDS.
What? They're shooting up? You think that's the only way people get AIDS?
Educating themselves.
Someone is infected with HIV without a blood test.
Their employees.
On this AIDS thing.
The issue here is education.
Their congregations and friends.
Enlightening sermon. I'm glad you came.
We need to talk to our donors.
Their community.
This says that AIDS is growing faster in small towns.
Especially their families.
You and Nelson, you think you're invincible. No one is.
Education does make a difference.
My name is Eileen, and last year I found out that I have HIV.
If we're going to prevent the spread of HIV, each and every one of us must do our part. Find out how you can help prevent HIV. Call 1-800-342-AIDS.
You wouldn't think Allie Schneider helped her swimming team much this year. After all, she didn't win a single race. She didn't break any records. And her relay team finished dead last in every meet. But Allie Schneider made a real splash simply by finishing every race she entered. Whatever you do in life, just do your best. From the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Something funny happened on Georgia College's campus last week. Steve Norris has the story.
Georgia College's Student Activities Board presented their last evening of Slippers, a one-night stand for spring quarter last week. The comedian was Don Reed. Reed is an up-and-coming talent from Oakland, California. He said that his career started off a bit slow, but eventually picked up.
I got my first break from Robert Townsend in the film Hollywood Shuffle. Then after that, he put me on his Robert Townsend Partners in Crime HBO specials, which were some of the highest rated specials in HBO history. And after that, Cosby saw me on a show, and he hooked me up with the Cosby Show. And just prior to that, I met Sinbad, and Sinbad's been a big help in my career. He helped me with audience warm-ups. If you go see a TV show being shot, I'm the guy in the audience making people laugh at Cheers or Roseanne or Blossom or something like that.
Reed also added that even though most people don't recognize his face, they might recognize his voice.
Yeah, I've done Kwame for Captain Planet. I've done Capital Critters. Coming up, Flintstones, the movie. I'm doing 3 voices in that, an ABC television special. And coming out this summer, Once Upon a Forest out of Hanna-Barbera. I'm playing the role of this big rooster going, I tell you now, y'all is in trouble.
Reed's act included impressions and sound effects.
E.T. Found home. I think he's getting sick, E.T. Found home.
After the show, the audience seemed pleased with the performance.
You did very good job. It was funny, I tell you.
Overall, the show went pretty well, and the coordinators considered it a success. Steve Norris, Central Georgia Tonight.
That's all the news tonight. Join us again next week for more Georgia College news. Good night.
This is where